Alright, you guys, another week, another hotel, travel. I had a lot of stuff happen this past week. We're trying to get it in, so yeah. Hey, what's up everybody? It's your guy AG with A1plus1, bringing you another dope video. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to share this with all your friends, okay? This video is going to be super dope. In this, we're going to be talking about travel tips, travel hacks, things you need to know before you go into a hotel and as you're traveling throughout the country, okay? So let's get right into it. So here's one thing that you need to understand about when you're actually going to travel and go to different hotels, right? Hotels have different systems that they use to capture your information. It's super important to make sure that you know exactly where you're going and what area of the town you're going to be in, okay? Because you make sure you want to be in a decent area, a safe area. That's super major, okay? Another thing is before you go, make sure that you have enough money available on your debit card or credit card, because a lot of times hotels will charge a tax and fees or a incidental fee, okay? And sometimes they'll have a nightly rate that you'll have to pay for, especially if you're going to Vegas or any high ticket, high traffic tourist area like LA, San Diego, New York, and Vegas, right? So they'll hold between, it can be $20 to $100 per night that you're going to stay. So if you find a great deal online, you may think, oh my God, you know, use a Hopper app or use Hotels Near Me or Google.com on the private browser and search for hotels near me, right? So just let you know, you do want to have enough money on the card to cover those incidentals and also the nightly rates, okay? So here in California, a lot of times I go through the Hilton brands because they are super dope. They have breakfast, right? They have amenities, they have pool, jacuzzi. Those are things that I like to do when I'm at my leisure or when I'm traveling for work and doing these blogs for you guys, okay? As you see my videos, they always have super nice entrance ways, that's captivating pools, pool tables, just really nice areas that you want to just convene around or shoot content for, right? Shoot content with. Those are super important. So first things first, research where you want to go. Number two is you can see, again, Google Near Me in a private browser, hotels near me, and it'll bring up some of the best prices and with the best ratings for the hotels, okay? So a lot of times you're gonna have to do some trial and error, okay? But and then it depends, are you working on a budget or are you not? If you're not working on a budget, then great. If you are, then hey, this video is for you and for you particular, okay? So again, there's a Hopper app that you guys can use. There is the Hotels Near Me, there's booking.com. One of my favorite ones, honestly, I'm not being sponsored by them, but I'm probably gonna be sponsored soon, is expedia.com. Expedia has some super great travel perks and hotels. They do some bundles, especially if you need a car, right, to get around, or if you're gonna use Uber or Turo, depending on where you're going, right? I go to Vegas a lot because I'm here in California and that's one of my favorite places to go. So Vegas, I found I can get around if I stay close to the strip. Sometimes I can just walk, or we can just simply Uber all over the place, Uber or Lyft, okay? So one of the first things you need to do when you're booking your hotel is you can either call them and confirm your confirmation, the confirmation number for your stay, okay? That's super important, because you don't want to get there and they'll be like, oh my God, sorry, you didn't book right. Or just know this too, that when you book through a third-party site like Expedia, like booking.com, or even Google, they will you will have to make your changes through those companies. You can't just make it through the hotel. So don't come to the hotel expecting to get your stuff made, you know, properly. If something accidental happened or you didn't book properly, it was not their fault. It was a user error, okay? So just take a little bit of accountability and just know that this is how it goes, okay? Now, when you're booking a room, right? Let's say the room costs $100 a night. So you're gonna stay for 2 nights, that's $200, right? There's gonna be taxes and fees included in that, okay? So you're going to have at least $215, $220, $225, maybe $250, right? That's for the room. Now, when you get to the hotel, they're also going to charge your card and hold your card for any incidental. Say you have a wild party, they're going to charge you for that. So be responsible if you don't want to have all your money swiped off your card, okay? Most of the times you are not able to get in unless you have that money to cover the incidental. So it's almost like you have to do this, okay? In case they have like a layout in the room, right? There could be a time where they lay out, waters, a little bar area in your room. That's not always free, okay? So make sure you check before you can call. When you get to your room, you can call the help desk and say, hey, is this free? Just inquire. If it is, great. If not, know that they will charge you an exuberant amount between $5 and $10 per item that you're going to be trying to use. If you're a baller and it doesn't matter to you, this doesn't apply, okay? If you're somebody who's on a budget and trying to travel on a budget, then this does apply to you, okay? Now, let's talk about that $200, the $100 a day, right? That you're gonna have to hold over. So again, remember, it's $200, $100 a night. It's gonna be about $220 to $250 after taxes and fees, right? And then they're gonna hold another $100 per night for the stay. So if it's 2 nights, right? Boom, that's another $200. So you're gonna have to at least have $450 available on your card, and then that way you can actually cover the whole room charge and surcharge fee and the actual fees if you mess up anything in the room, right? Or you steal something, right? Or somebody that you're with does some damage or property, okay? So be careful who you travel with, and know that if you're doing that, you're gonna need at least $400 to $500 on your card just for those 2 nights, okay? And it gets more and more as you go longer nights, okay? So that's the first part, okay? First tip. The second tip is, let's talk about once you get to the hotel and the amenities. So what I want you to do is, here's the thing, especially if you're traveling to high tourist places like Vegas, San Diego, New York, LA, right? Here's this tip that I learned years ago from a YouTube video myself, was have like a 20 or like a 10 or 20 and give it to the front desk person. Let them know that you appreciate them, and you can say, hey, are there any upgrades available? Because sometimes there are a lot of rooms that are available. You can get a better room, right? You can go from just a regular basic queen or basic king to a king suite or a queen suite. You can go from the hotels that have even higher, you can go from a suite to a penthouse, right? Literally, it depends on what you have, right? So if you have a 20, they may get you that. If you have a 50 or 100, you might get the penthouse for dang the same price, especially if it's open and available that weekend, right? That's super important to notice if you are trying to travel on a budget and get the most bang for your buck, okay? Now, next thing you want to do is, again, remember, when you're traveling, make sure you have your ID and or your passport with you, depending on where you're going and how far you're going, right? It helps you to travel a lot smoother, okay? Again, if you're traveling flights, again, check Expedia and then check your local area, right? So I live in Stockton, California in particular. We have a airway, United, it's called Allegiant Airways. And they go fly directly from Stockton, California to Las Vegas, and then from Stockton, California to Phoenix, Arizona, right? 2 major tourist places in the world. And so what I want you to do is check with them, because usually they'll have some super great deals, and it's better to fly somewhere close that you can do a small getaway or a small vacation, right? And then as you do that, check the little the packages they come with. Sometimes they come with a car and hotel, and a lot of times those are really, really good deals. So I want you to do that, because that will help you to save money on your hotels and your car and your air flight, okay? So these are just some of the things that I do as a traveler, as a travel blogger, somebody who travels a lot. Again, I've been to Spain, Africa, Canada, all around the US. Some of my favorite cities, I ain't gonna lie to you, are Los Angeles. Vegas is my number 1, my go-to. Texas is probably my number 2, super fun. Houston, to be in particular. And I love California. I'm a Cali boy, so it makes sense. But it's really expensive here, and if you're traveling to California, just know that you will be taxed. If you're coming from the East Coast, it's expensive here, okay? But one thing I can tell you is that as you get further east, the food, and east and south, the food gets better and better, right? California, very health conscious, so we eat a lot of, protein, chicken, all that stuff. Whereas you're going to down south or East Coast, you're looking at ribs, you're looking at soul food, you're looking at Italian cuisine, things like that. Okay, you guys. So, man, if you guys like this content, go ahead and give me a like and a comment, and leave a comment, man, and also subscribe. And let people know, hey, this is some things that you've learned as you go about your travel journey, and stay tuned for the next video. So you guys be good. I'm Aaron with A1plus1, and we'll see you guys next time.